biggest challenge was just having to mime and really use your imagination and submit to feeling a bit silly, you know, in front of all your coworkers, like pretending to get licked by a dog. It's kind of like it's a new thing. It's an interesting experience.
Revenge. It won't take your pain away.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our big ticket interview for Supergirl. I'm Perri Nemiroff, and I'm sitting with Ridley, Craig Gillespie, Millie Alcock, Jason Momoa, and early congrats on your movie.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Millie, you get my first question to kind of tee up the story for us a little bit here. At the beginning of the movie, Kara is reluctant to be a hero, but then she's put in a position where she has to step up for Krypto. So I'm gonna give you a two-part question about that.
Amazing.
At that point in her journey, what do you think her greatest strength is? The thing that will help her save him, but also what's her greatest weakness? The thing that could do her in?
I think her greatest strength is her stubbornness in a way. She's incredibly stubborn. She's incredibly resilient. So I would say those. I mean, greatest weakness is the same. I think your greatest strength is always your greatest weakness.
That's like the most human answer ever. I feel like anybody out there can relate to that. Jason, I'm gonna jump your way. I was actually really excited to throw this particular question to you as someone who has headlined DC films before. This is Millie's very first time doing that, and that is a really big accomplishment. So just from your perspective, what was it like watching her not only headline this movie, but act as a leader on this set that kind of would make you sit there and think, like, we're so lucky to have her in this position in this industry?
No, it's a great question. No, I'm very proud of her because I didn't step into those shoes at her age. I was significantly older with kids, and I definitely know I wouldn't be able to handle that level ever. I would not be able to handle what she's done in this movie, and then just, you know, not even that good of an actor compared to what she is. So I mean, like, I think she's like head and toes. Well, I mean, listen, your age and my age, two different things. I'm a lot older than you, so I've needed time to get to where I'm at, and and that's fine. But I would not be able to do what she has done and to step into those shoes. And I think it's and it was a wonderful set to be a part of. I mean, I think Craig kept a beautiful set. You know, didn't have many days in on it, so I got to come in and kind of be this terror. So I just got to be Lobo and be wild and crazy and unapologetic and kind of, but I mean, obviously you want to come in and I do like to get along with my cast and crew and everyone so that I can play and have fun. Even our scenes together, we had a great time.
They were fun.
I actually felt very free with them, so we have a really fun, silly scene together, and it was good because you just feel freed, and it is a nice safety net that Craig built for us to play.
I love you spreading the love, but based on what I've seen in the trailers thus far, I have a feeling you should probably be giving yourself a lot more credit than you're doing right now. I'm gonna give you one more question about your journey in the DC franchise, because you're also on an interesting road that not many people out there have experienced, having gone from Justice League and the Aquaman movies to this. Can you tell me something about the experience of working on those movies that teed you up for success on Supergirl, but then also something that you had to, I guess, evolve or think of in a completely different way, playing a new character in a new iteration of this franchise?
I mean, any character, any movie that we step onto. So I don't think I felt like, oh, I'm just doing a different universe. I just simply go in to play the character and dive into the world that I'm doing. So I wouldn't say that there's like this recipe that I had being in the DC world. It's just the things that I learned in the first time through that worked. It obviously really helped coming into this other world. I got some advice very early on before I jumped in to play Aquaman, and it was a really dear friend of mine who's an actor, and he's kind of been the same thing but with Marvel, and he was just like, listen, you really need to have fun with this superhero thing. You need to have fun. You need to put a little bit of your life into it. You need to put a little bit of you in there. Otherwise, it's not you got to make it relatable, and you really got to center it in something. And so I kind of use that in Aquaman, and you're trying to find those, and obviously Lobo's very, very close to me. And
That's right. Yeah.
It's not too far from the truth.
No, but I was gonna say too, you've been wanting to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, it's the weirdest thing on earth to go like, oh, before even wanting to be an actor. I mean, that came in my teens. Like, this is when I was a kid. This comic books. These are my comic books that you wait for, and now I'm playing him. It's very, very strange, extremely strange to be able to play like someone you grew up reading as a child. So the whole thing is very surreal.
Sincerely, the idea of bringing the fun and bringing yourself to the role is something I've always felt in your DC performances, and I'm looking forward to getting to experience that again with Supergirl. So I can't wait for that. We have another first to celebrate here. This is your first feature film.
It is.
That's incredible. That is so incredibly exciting.
Yeah.
What is something? Yeah, we can clap for that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. What is something you experienced making Supergirl that made you leave that set thinking to yourself, like, wow, I loved that, and I hope that feeling is present on my future film sets?
I don't think it was a particular experience. I think it was the whole experience in general. I mean, it's my first movie, and I got to work with amazing people, learn so much. So I took away a lot from that opportunity, and I'm really grateful for it.
I look forward to seeing you take all of that to all the movies you're going to make in the future. Craig, I'm really curious to hear about your conversations with Peter and James. Can you tell me something that they told you you needed to do with this movie that had to kind of like fit in with what they had planned with the larger DC franchise overall, but then also a way that they encouraged you to make Supergirl completely unique and stand on its own 2 feet?
Oh, it's interesting. It's like I met with Peter and James, you know, obviously when I was coming in to pitch on the show. Millie was already attached, which I was thrilled about. I said to James, how much do I need to have this be part of the DC universe? And his answer was, we're treating this like each is its own graphic novel. So a graphic novel has its own writers and their own illustrators, and they're very distinct in the comic universe. And so he said, like, really lean into that. And having that freedom to be able to do that, plus reading the script, and I could relate to it so well. Just like it's a flawed hero that's working through a lot of issues and trying to find themselves. And it's kind of a theme that I've been doing in a lot of my work. So having that to lean into and being able to kind of run with it. And also because this movie is all off-world, so to speak. So we had no choice but to create our own universe.
I also was curious to hear a little bit about the tone of the movie, and I've heard you talk about comps like True Grit and Logan, so it was making me wonder, what do you think it is about the Western genre that just really well suited the story you were going to tell and the themes you wanted to explore?
They're going on this journey, and they're going to sort of the fringe of the galaxy, and they're going where there's a lot of misfits, and there's a lot of planets that are right like on the edge, and kind of in that frontier kind of way that you get in Western. So they're turning up in places that are kind of off the grid a little bit, and having to work that, work that in, and new characters that are almost like outlaws in a way. And Lobo fits well into that as well.
Now I obviously have to loop Superman into the conversation. Millie, Jason, and Eve, I'll throw this to all of you. At the start of this movie, how aware is your character of Kal-El? And if they are, what do they think of him? Obviously yours is well aware of him.
Yeah. We have a relationship. Yeah.
What's her favorite and least favorite thing about him?
About David Cornsworth?
Well, I meant the character, but you could take it in whatever direction
Superman,
you want.
I think he's really sweet. I think he's really endearing. And then I think he's also too stubborn. He's too naive.
And I love the line in the film where she's like, he's basically a nerd.
He's a nerd. He's a dork,
I mean, I'm a nerd. I get it. I kind of respect that about him.
You can understand that conflict.
They butt heads. They butt heads. Yeah.
Jason, Eve, anything on that?
Yeah, it got in my way a couple times. Like, I get sasa, but we respect each other some of the times. We'll see what the future holds.
I don't really think Ruthie knows much about that side of things. I mean, when she meets Kara and then eventually learns about Superman, that's when it kind of comes into the story. But until then, she's very much in her own world and doesn't really know about the outside.
I'll ask you your own opinion then. What is your favorite thing about David Cornsweet's Superman?
How kind of authentic it is, and it's kind of the role model that you want the younger audience to look up to. He's such a stereotypical Superman, but also adding himself into the role, and I think that's what you want people to look up to, and you want them to be inspired by you.
Beautiful answer. Could not agree more. Millie, I'm coming back your way because a sky-high priority for me to ask about during this interview was Krypto.
Yeah.
I told you before, I'm obsessed with dogs. I will always have a lot of admiration for a character who puts her dog above all else. So one thing that I've said in my day-to-day life is that dogs are better than people. If Kara completed this sentence, how might she finish it?
Okay.
Dogs are better than people because
they don't talk.
I was going to say, don't talk back.
They don't talk back. That's what I meant. They don't talk back.
Now to talk a little bit about the movie magic of working with a dog that's created digitally, like that stuff just fascinates me to no end. I feel like we could do hours and hours of interviews just discussing that process. So to single out one particular thing, for you as an actor, what was the most challenging about working opposite a digitally created dog, and how did Craig and the rest of the team help you overcome that challenge and make the connection feel so authentic?
I think the biggest challenge was just having to mime and really believe and use your imagination and kind of submit to feeling a bit silly, you know, in front of all your coworkers, like pretending to get licked by a dog. It's kind of like it's a new thing. It's an interesting experience.
There's also, though, like the heel is how we had an animatronic.
Yeah,
Krypto.
that was great. The
Fully
heel
animatronic.
And that
Breathing,
the
blinking.
the blinked.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yes.
That was really helpful.
Just incredible. I could highlight movie magic all day long. I could also highlight really powerful scene partners and connections on screen all day long. And the next one I do want to highlight is Kara and Ruthie. So at the beginning of the movie, we see them in a situation where they both need each other. Can you two tease why one needs the other, and also maybe what it is about the other that she suspects she can trust?
Ruthie needs Kara because she's in such a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
I mean, she's lost everything and she doesn't have a motherly figure to look up to now. So I think when she comes across Kara, she really looks up to her and uses her for guidance and keeping her safe.
Kara needs Ruthie to save herself, to like mend that relationship with her.
Yeah.
With her younger self. I think that she really sees herself within you know?
Because
And
of
there's
the
the-
past.
Yeah, and
she's
there's that
been
like
through.
unspoken bond that happens to trauma. I think this film really highlights that.
Oh, I love that answer so much. I cannot wait to see that come to life on screen. Craig, I'll come your way to talk about your villain, Krem. Can you tell me about working with Matthias on that character, and if the two of you kind of had an aha moment, if you came up with something in prep or on set that made the two of you stop and go like, we get who this character is and how to bring him to life now?
I loved working with Matthias. It's funny, he actually auditioned for this, which was amazing. And he was so giving and open and trying everything. He's like, we just played. And it's like, we left the audition, it was like, oh my God, he has to be the guy. And even on the set, he was so courageous. He would give me like 1 to 10 in terms of variations. And sort of had that trust to be able, let's try and figure it out in the edit. And we would like narrow it down, but he would be,
He was fun.
yeah, he would be
He was fun.
bonkers at times.
Yeah.
In the best way, and trying things and playing things and never the same thing twice. And I think that's always exciting when you have no idea what's going to happen in the room.
Yeah.
And I think it's great for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what made it more scary. You
It was
didn't know
so
what he was
fun.
going to do.
No, you had no idea. Yeah.
How often did you wind up using his 10 take?
It's kind of a mix. It's kind of this beautiful thing. But something, there'll be a little bit of a 3 in there with the 10 that punctuate it. It's like having that, that he gave us that trust was beautiful.
Dude's a total unsung hero in this industry too.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor. And he was on my radar for a long time. It's like I loved him in Bullhead, Rust and Bone. It's like he just, from very early on, I've been keeping an eye on him.
Well, do not blame you one bit. Jason, I'm gonna come back your way. I'll actually pose a similar question to you, because you referenced before, how long you wanted to play Lobo for. So he's been on your mind for quite a bit now. What is the first thing you did, either in prep or on set, that made you stop and go like, I really get who my version of this character is now?
I think with much respect and love to the makeup and the visual effects, and visual effects are amazing, but the makeup team and the wardrobe. They always say this when the actor puts it on, but I've never been covered up that much. This full scalero, my nails, my teeth, hair, full, prosthetics on the face, like body, everything's covered. So I've never really had kind of that experience. And then, you walk in, and our set on that, like our first days were massive. It's like the biggest.
Huge.
It's the biggest one in England. Like, you can drive a motorcycle and get going and not have to stop for a while. So it's a massive studio, but just walking in and you can't, you're like, oh, I'm going to learn how to play Lobo. I'm going to do the lines. I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find that. When you put all that on and you open your eyes after they put the scleros on and their big, bright red lenses, and you walk past everyone and they're just like, you just kind of stomp.
Yeah.
And there's just a swagger when you put it on, and you it's full permission to just, all these things kind of come out. And every day there would be more and more and more. And I think like my last scenes with her in the prison cell, I was just getting to like the good stuff. Like I didn't have enough time in it, which I'm good with. There's a lot of, you know, you're in the makeup for 4 hours trying to get everything done. So we really put all that on. You feel like it, and you get permission to just kind of move differently, talk differently.
And you were great as well in terms of playing with it and like, you know, going like the range of like the humor or the.
Because you're just like, I'm trying to find it too. I mean,
Yeah,
I just
and
have
it's
the
like,
wealth of
that's
knowledge
so
of the
and,
comics and obviously the script to work
know.
with. But then after that, I'm like, just try to stay as free as possible to play.
Yeah, which is like, and I always love those moments where there is that spontaneity, like that we.
Yeah,
that
that's the
moment
thing too, is like, I only got to see as much as, I mean, we kind of just get to see what we do in looping. Most of mine's action. So I got to see some of the stuff. And I was really surprised to see how much Craig kept in there. Because a lot of times you get loose and you're like, that'll never be in there. And we have our moments forever. There's some messed up things we did. There's some things that we did that I'm like, oh my God, if that makes it in there. Can it be in there? Can it not? So, but it's good it didn't make it. But regardless, we went there and it was, you know, it was led by him. So I really was happy when I was in looping to go like, wow, they left all that in there.
Oh, I love hearing that so
Yeah.
much. I cannot wait to see you swing for the fences in this role. I'll build on some of that answer and tap into the hair, the makeup, the costume, the effects, the scale of this production overall. For each of you, what is something you saw on the Supergirl set that made you stop and go, I cannot believe that is what it takes to make it look like that on screen in the finished product?
The prosthetics and the animatronics, and like, it gave us all such freedom because you were interacting with a live thing, a creature, and someone would control it and it would respond. So I'd say
there's
that
probably
was
50
awesome.
or
I don't think
60.
people appreciate
That was insane.
just how much work goes into doing
so
stuff like
much
that.
detail.
I didn't know it even existed
Neither
before
did
I
I.
worked on it.
Yeah.
And to see that,
Yeah.
it was cool.
I wish they would keep that around more because I haven't been in that many projects where you really get experience that. I mean, it's fun being in DC and having Aquaman. You got to go to a couple different worlds, but this is like above and beyond amazing.
We try to keep it as practical as possible, and including this first set you worked on in Leavesden, which is a town square, and we built this town square on the largest stage in Leavesden, and there were like 6 tanks there and a motorcycle.
Insane.
We had tanks blowing up and going 40 feet in the air, so it was like as much as in camera as we could do. And you know, that set had 8 miles of cable for the stunt department. So just like the unsung heroes, that like the amount of ratcheting and coordination that's going on in those sequences.
Listen, I'm so excited to see your movie, but this makes me want to see all the B-roll too. So I hope you release both eventually. I'm going to say an early congrats on Supergirl. Thank you so much for sharing some of your experience making the movie with us. And thank all of you for watching this edition of Big Ticket. Supergirl hits theaters on June 26th. Tickets are on sale now.